Hello, good day. So, here I am once again in our village fountain conversations. It's come up a few times this week talking about this core distinction, inner authority versus outer authority. And when and how do we reclaim our inner authority? And what does that look like? What does it feel like? As I mentioned in the description of this pre-post, it was, this is the kind of the pattern where we have a whole culture that worships external authority. We start as children and we have to worship our parents. We have to honor them as our external authority. And then our teachers. And then we become young adults and we give our authority to the priests and the rabbis or whatever religious person or the politicians. Or we might give it away to the experts. Of course, I know nothing. Let's listen to the expert. And we become spiritual and we go on a path and let's give our power away to the workshop leader. Let's just do whatever the workshop leader says, and they know best, and they'll guide us through whatever it is we need to know. Or the guru, sit in satsang with the guru. I mean, that's beautiful. I've done that. I did that for many, many, many years, actually. And there's nothing wrong in it. I got a lot out of it. And I can acknowledge that I was still replacing malevolent external authorities with more benevolent external authorities. Like the guru was kind of the father I never had that was actually loving and permissive in a way that my other one wasn't. So that can be healing, that can be good. And yet there's still a point that comes when if I want to keep growing and achieving my potential, then there's going to be a point where I really need to even close the door on any guru or master teacher or whatever. Well, when I say close the door, it means that I'm not looking to them for having all the answers. I can start turning inward and really source my own answers. It doesn't mean I still learn from everything and everybody. I'm still an open being, like everything is a teacher at that point also. But for me, there's a huge release and revelation. There's a new liberation when I'm able to source myself. When I am my own guru. I am my own guru. There's an old song, I am my own grandpa. It reminds me of that. And so then I am guru, and you are guru, and we are guru. So I have a new sticker called We Are Guru. It's a reclamation of power somehow. It's like part of me cringes when I go to some of the different gatherings and there's all this worshipping of this guru or teacher, and part of me knows that can be good and healthy for at a certain stage in development. And then, of course, some people stay there for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and I'm not so sure that that's healthy. I feel that there must be some stagnancy happening in the development, because we're meant to go beyond that, in my opinion. We're meant to transcend that. And become adults, spiritual adults, psycho-emotional adults, but have our inner capacities online. So I take these pauses because as much as I want to talk about insights, I also want to have a heart-to-heart, belly-to-belly, eye-to-eye connection with you. I want to feel my own inner silence. And so I love this dance between words and silence. In a way, between meaning and meaninglessness also. Can we stay connected? Can we stay present? Can we stay engaged even when there's not a bunch of words filling the space? That is the predominant paradigm in all of our worldly, especially Western cultures. We mainly feel connection when there's a lot of words happening. If we're with someone and there's not a bunch of words, we get pretty uncomfortable. Why is that? We've lost some capacities. This is part of reclaiming that inner authority. Part of our talking all the time is pleasing other people, posturing ourselves, pretending, defending. Like the words are kind of performing this under the radar purpose. It's nice to pay attention to what that really is, the very subtle intentions behind our conversations. Why are we not comfortable with silence? And how does it change the quality of the conversation when we are comfortable with silence and then we allow something to emerge? way, yoking these two impossible extremes or opposites, of this, the ascending and the descending. Through this stillness, through this silence, there can be an access to an expanded consciousness, an experience of non-dual reality of our oneness. And through the descending into our body, we can feel our flesh and our bones, our breath, our skin, our senses, the sounds, our animal body, our mammalian nature, our very fleshy bodies that have needs and desires and joy of being and moving. It's easy to get attached to one of those two, but to really hold both poles at the same time. Okay. Blurry screen, rotating circle. No, everything seems to be working on my end. Maybe it's the slow internet connection if you're not, if it's not loading up. Anyone else online confirm that things are working okay? Plus the play button? I'm not sure what you mean. Alright. I love this technical we get to meet here through these technical wonders, and yet we still have technical challenges. I don't see a way to reload or anything like that without starting it over, and then it would change the link setup. So, yep. If all goes well, at least it'll be recorded. You have a blurry screen? To reload. Yeah. Reload. Well, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties that we seem to be having. Hopefully this will at least record properly. Yeah, she probably can't hear me, I suppose, yeah. Good point. So I'm just going to continue on because I don't know what else to do to help. It could be, I don't know what it is. So this is also like life. Things don't work perfectly. Can we still stay present? Can we still stay present, ascending and descending? Can we still not let us take us out and be upset? Yeah, I'll touch base with you after the video, okay? I'll figure out the technology, maybe. Yeah. So if there's anyone that is able to hear me, wants to ask or comment on with the content today. I think this is my 5th Facebook Live now. I'm doing once a week, Thursdays 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and I really am noticing how it calls something out of me. Even not even sure what it is, but it's like something gets informed each time I do this about what to share next, what's being called out of me. And there's something nice about my putting myself to be seen, to be visible. To go to the virtual town square, really. Because that's what we don't have now. We don't have, in my opinion, I don't know. I mean, you can go to a coffee shop or, but people generally don't talk much with strangers, right? They're reading a book or working on their laptop or maybe paying attention to a performance if there's a live performance. But it's not like a culture where we all tend to naturally engage with each other. And I find that really sad that we're missing that. Malin, you can't hear or watch me either? Yeah, I don't know what's happening. So yeah, I come here to see, to connect with the virtual sphere, and happy to connect with anybody who feels resonant with the things I'm talking about, or with the things you feel or sense beyond the words. It's even more valuable. Still landing and slowing down your mind. Nice. Yeah, it takes time. When our minds get spun up, it can take time to slow down. When I do the Field of Awakening events, we do 3-hour events. And the main reason we have 3-hour events, well, there's a lot of reasons, but one of them is that we really want the time to allow our nervous system to slow down and unwind, and to allow our mental chatter to settle, to find a deeper connection to our body and to stillness. And when we do practices that are 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, well, it's good for a lot of things, but when we're in a group space, to allow our group nervous system to really settle and coalesce, it takes some time. And that's completely okay. So maybe I'll just sit for another minute or two here, enjoy some silence, and probably call it a day, call it a wrap. Okay, you got it working on Chrome. Nice. So glad. Now that we're towards the end, anyway. Well, who knows? Maybe I'll spark a thought in me to continue talking about. Yeah, just enjoying some moments of silence, silent connecting here. There's the old saying that the mind is a lousy master but a beautiful servant. And in that line, I like the dance between silence and words. Can the words come from a place that is of choice, of service, not of runaway mental chatter? Just enjoying the silence. The marriage between inner authority and listening to the emergent. Yeah. Yeah, the emergent comes from the inner. It bubbles up from universal intelligence through our connection to Source into our expression of who we are. That is the emergent as I experience it. I mean, you could have spontaneous things that come from the mind or come from other habits and so on. But that's why we meditate and listen to the inner, turn inward, hear the inner authority, and then listen for what bubbles up through us. Or the Quakers would say, what quakes us? You know, what's actually moving us into some direction that we've not gone before. And what's beautiful is that you know, especially in group dynamics, when we do the field of awakening, for instance, it's, you know, we're feeling the group as a single organism, listening for the emergent, and the magic of the different connections that are made and the experiences that are happened. Not even the most amazing genius could come up with a plan, a curriculum plan, or an exercise itinerary. You know, can't create ahead of time this map that would give everybody nearly as many benefits as they get as when we collectively tune in to our inner authority and listen to the emergent of what, you know, holding space and an intention for what serves us, our health and vitality, our wholeness and our potential, what serves that the most. And really invite that and be open to whatever comes. And magical things start happening and needs get met that we didn't even know we had. And I don't know how to emphasize that enough, but it's so beautiful when we're in that space together and we, you know, I mean, consciously I'm thinking I need to pay the bills and do the laundry and look for a new job or whatever it is, and underneath there's these needs that didn't get met when I was a kid, bonding with my parents, or some kind of approval, or something that I didn't, you know, some unmet need is living in me, and through the magic of this emergence, somehow that part gets seen and met. And that need gets met, and then because that need gets met, it doesn't have to live inside me anymore forever. It can actually complete its cycle of expression and return to Source, and then I'm more open and liberated. My energy and channels are more open, rather than whenever something is incomplete, it's like there's a cyst, an energy cyst inside our system, and that's creating less energy flow. It's like a block or a boulder in the river or something. It's not stopping flow. We're still alive. We're not dead, but it's reducing the amount of aliveness that we have. So, listening to the emergent is a key component of allowing those deeper needs to come to surface and to be expressed and to be met and so on. And we find ourselves more alive and more energized, more whole, and more connected. Because more circuits are flowing, more circuits are open. And can you listen to the emergent on your own? Yes, yes. And my understanding and experience is we are incredibly social creatures. We are socially dynamic creatures. And when we sit together with 3 people or 6 people or 20 people, and we're listening to the emergent together, then all these wounds that are relational wounds, I mean, except for skin cuts, I mean, our psycho-emotional wounds are relational. I don't know if it's 99% or 100%, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. And when we sit in the emergent as a group, and it can be nice to have 10 or more people, because then there's even more possibilities that there's someone in the group that has a strong resonance with someone who we have an incomplete wound with, an incomplete process with. And then if we're both sitting, in this emergent space, then with the support of the whole field and the whole group, magic starts to happen. And those relating pieces that we've always wished for can actually manifest. It's funny how I think I'm done, and then something else emerges, and that's also okay. That's also why we have a 3-hour field, is, well, something happened, and we're 30 minutes in, and now, well, that happened, so what else is there? Maybe we think there's nothing more, but then if we sit, listen, tune in, wait, something will come up, something will arise. And then there's, more waves, exactly. There's more waves. I often think of it like a symphony that has different movements. So it's like, the music changes, there's some silence, then there's a different pacing, a different rhythm, a different section of the symphony, a different part of the symphony comes, and there's a different dance that happens. I also like that I'm getting more comfortable with this format. I suspect I'll continue getting more comfortable because there's still part of me that's kind of self-conscious of this whole camera, Facebook Live, that's a whole new thing for me. And to feel, okay, I can actually be comfortable with silence, I can be comfortable with my speaking, and just be in my own emergent flow. That's very joyous for me. And I don't know if I'll ever set an ending time frame for these lives. Maybe that'll happen at some point. But for now, I'm just ending when I feel complete somehow. Which I feel like I might be heading towards. If there's any comments or questions, can throw them out. Always good to remember to breathe. Yeah, and the other reason to have more time is to sift, like a deeper layer can emerge. We're complex beings. So now that I've talked about that and that and that, and I allow some time, maybe there's more resource or safety or presence to present some other aspect that also could use attention. And so I actually do feel something in me, like oh, there's another layer. If I sit for another 5-10 minutes, I think it would probably come up for me. And at the same time, I don't want to make these Facebook lives too long. At least for now, until I get other feedback. So I'm going to say thank you for listening, for watching, for being you. Let's reclaim our inner authority and listen to the emergent that comes through us. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.